You have technology in your hand, right? It's almost like that you have a hammer. Now everything cannot be a nail, right? You cannot hit everything with that. You need to understand some of the important use cases where blockchain can play a very important role. And since we are into BFSI and we really cater to banking industry or insurance industry, we see lots of use cases where blockchain can be used. Some of the classic notable use cases would be when we want to do a peer-to-peer money transfer, or it could be foreign remittance, cross-border payment, where blockchain can play a very important role. Let me give you an example. When you do a cross-border payment, typically what happens, there would be multiple entities within the whole thing. There would be banks, there would be foreign exchange companies, and there would be a long settlement time in order to do a foreign remittance. But if you just convert and if you create an application on blockchain, then foreign remittance happens seamlessly. Even we can arrive at the final settlement within seconds. So if you consider foreign remittance as an activity, in current world it takes more than 1 month, in sometimes it could be more than a couple of months for the final settlement to happen, and the cost is extremely high. But when you get that on blockchain, it can happen at fraction of a cost and it happens seamlessly. That could be one important use case. Another thing is when you want to do KYC or AML. Right, in a bank, data security, data privacy is very important, and we need to have a trustworthy source where data can be stored. Blockchain plays a very important role here because everything is stored in a cryptographic way. So we use encryption methodology so that it can be stored properly and nobody can tamper. For example, Bitcoin is one type of blockchain use case where typically we use an algorithm called SH256 hash. So these are very strong protocol and very difficult to crack. And so that is another use case where you can store the information. That information would be tamper proof, it cannot be immuted. Then it can stay in a very decentralized way. So KYC, AML are two important use cases. Then it can also be used in cases like where you want to store public health record on blockchain, where insurance companies or other provider can access those information in order to issue a policy. Then you can do a claim filing, a claims processing. It can happen by accessing that information which is tamper proof and immutable. So these are some of the important use cases when you talk about the insurance world. Then supply chain management is another important area where you see a huge application of blockchain happening, because that is also an area where information has to be stored in a very authentic way, and nobody can touch or tamper that information. Then on the other side, we see some interesting use cases happening, like Government of India is planning to launch this digital currency. So it is happening on blockchain. Similarly, a recent pilot project has been implemented by JPMorgan Chase, where they have tied up with 5 Indian banks. So what they are trying to do, they are trying to create a solution on blockchain where the foreign dollar remittance can happen seamlessly on blockchain. These are some of the use cases and we can get into details of that, but at a high level I think it is easy to understand at a high level where blockchains can play a very important role.